What makes a birth truly extraordinary? I mean, beyond just the usual human celebration. Is it the circumstances, maybe signs in nature? Or is it something about the actual being who's born?
That's a great starting point, because today we're doing a deep dive into a really significant event from ancient texts.
Right.
The birth of Lord Krishna.
Right. And our goal here is to unpack the unique and honestly surprising details around this birth, which the texts describe as transcendental. We're using the excerpts provided.
Exactly. We want to get past just the surface story and understand the deeper meanings, the symbolism woven into this whole narrative.
Because it's really captivating stuff. This isn't presented as just, a baby being born. It's framed as a cosmic event. You've got planetary alignments, celestial beings celebrating a revelation of divine purpose. And all of this happening under the most unlikely, almost impossible conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe let's start with that core idea. Krishna's appearance being transcendental. The texts are very clear. This isn't an ordinary human birth, not something dictated by past actions or karma like it is for most beings.
So it's not a consequence then. It's described as an intentional act. The text actually says, he appears out of his own sweet pleasure. How does that change things right from the start?
It changes everything. It's a fundamental distinction. The Bhagavad Gita even says that if you understand the factual nature of his appearance, his birth, his activities, you become immediately eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world.
Wow.
Yeah. So the insight is, this isn't really a birth into the material world in the usual sense. It's more like an intentional appearance within it. He's not bound by its laws. He arrives by his own will, eternally free, already fully himself.
Okay, that completely reframes birth. And it sets the stage for everything else, doesn't it?
It really does. And the cosmos itself seems to react to this. The texts talk about the constellations being very auspicious.
Right. They mentioned the star Rohit specifically.
Rohit, yes, under the direct supervision of Brahma, it says. And what's amazing is this idea that the planetary systems kind of automatically adjusted themselves. Everything became auspicious just for this moment.
That scale is just hard to grasp.
Yeah.
A universal response.
It really is. The text says, at that exact moment, in all directions, east, west, south, north, everywhere, there was this pervasive feeling of peace, prosperity.
Everywhere, like towns, villages.
Towns, villages, pastures, yeah. And even, it says, within the minds of everyone, a palpable sense of good fortune spreading out.
And nature, too. Wasn't just observing, but celebrating.
Oh, absolutely bursting with celebration. You get these vivid images, rivers flowing full, lakes decorated with lotus flowers like they were preparing for something huge, forests full of beautiful birds singing with sweet voices, peacocks dancing with their mates, and this really pleasant wind carrying the scent of flowers.
It sounds idyllic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just nature, was it? Humans and celestial beings got involved, too.
Overwhelmingly so. You have the Brahmins, the priestly class. They suddenly found their homes felt right for fire offerings. Again, something apparently suppressed by demoniac kings.
Yeah, okay.
Their minds were filled with joy, it says, hearing transcendental vibrations in the sky. And at the same time, beings from other planets, Gandharvas, Kinnaras singing, Siddhas and Charanas offering prayers.
Angels dancing.
Angels, Vidyatas dancing, yeah. Great sages and demigods showering flowers from above. And even the sounds of the world seemed harmonious, gentle waves, pleasing thunder.
So imagine that, the entire cosmos, from stars down to rivers, all aligning and celebrating. What does that tell you about the significance they're placing on this birth?
It tells you it's seen as absolutely fundamental, not just a local miracle, but a universal event. It suggests that, for these texts, divine appearance isn't just something happening within reality. It's an event so foundational that reality itself, the cosmos, reconfigures around it.
Yeah.
Divinity doesn't just enter the world, it kind of reorders it.
Okay, so after all this cosmic preparation, Lord Vishnu appears in the middle of the night before Devaki. But there's this really strange detail, isn't there?
Yeah.
About the moon.
Ah, yes. The full moon paradox.
Right. It says, his appearance was like the rising of the full moon, but it was the 8th day of the waning moon. How does that work?
Well, the text offers this really beautiful explanation. It says, Lord Krishna appeared in the dynasty of the moon. So because he appeared in its own lineage, the moon itself was supposedly in an overjoyous condition.
Overjoyed.
Yeah. And by Krishna's grace, even though it should have been waning, it appeared full. It's a way of showing his power can even transcend, basic astronomical facts.
Bending reality to his will.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what Vasudeva, the father, actually sees That's astonishing.
Completely. Struck with wonder, the text says, he sees this newborn child with 4 hands.
4 hands, holding things.
Holding a conch shell, a club, a disc, and a lotus flower, the classic symbols of Vishnu. Plus divine markings, the Srivatsa mark, the glowing Kaustubha jewel.
And
dressed in yellow silk, dazzling like a bright blackish cloud, wearing a helmet with a special Vidurya stone, bracelets, earrings, lots of hair. It's just not a baby as we know it.
No. It completely defies any normal expectation.
Exactly. And this extraordinary form, the text notes, confirms what an astronomical treatise called Kamantikya apparently also described, that the child born at that exact auspicious moment was the supreme Brahman, or the absolute truth.
How do you even react to that as a parent, holding a baby that seems to break all the rules of reality?
Well, Vasudeva, even though he's literally shackled in prison, his first thought is celebration. He wants to give many thousands of cows in charity to the Brahmanas.
A kingly tradition, right?
Yes, a Vedic custom. But he can't, of course. He's in prison. So it says he offers them mentally instead.
What's really fascinating there is how quickly the parents seem to shift from, understandable fear and awe to this deep theological understanding, and then back again to very human worries.
It's quite a dynamic. Vasudeva, despite being in prison, apparently becomes completely free from fear of Kamsa just by seeing the Lord. He offers this incredibly profound prayer.
Yeah.
He recognizes Krishna right away as the supreme personality of Godhead, the supersoul of all living entities, and the absolute truth. He understands Krishna appeared in his own eternal form specifically to save them.
And he tackles that big question, doesn't he? How can the infinite Lord, who creates everything with just a glance, possibly enter a human womb? It seems contradictory.
He does. He uses analogies, like how elements, earth, water, fire, seem to be in a body, but they also exist independently outside it. Or how sunshine comes from the sun, but doesn't cover the sun itself.
So the idea is Krishna is never actually limited or covered by the material world.
That's exactly it. Vasudeva points out Krishna is never covered by the 3 modes of material energy: goodness, passion, ignorance, those qualities that influence everything here. Krishna is beyond them. He acts purely, spontaneously. Vasudeva calls him the root cause of everything, down to the atom. Both matter and spirit come from him. His forms are unaffected by material qualities.
And the purpose of this whole appearance, Vasudeva sees it clearly.
Yes, he states it's to kill the followers of the demoniac rulers of the world, those disguised as princes, but who are really demons.
Wow. And then Devaki, the mother, she prays too.
She does. And initially you feel her fear. Understandably, given her brother Kamsa's cruelty, but her understanding of Krishna's divinity is just as deep.
She recognizes him too.
Oh, absolutely. She sees his eternal, self-glowing, unchanging, pure, conscious, blissful forms. She even connects him to other divine appearances: Narayana, Rama, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana.
She knows the cosmology.
She even understands his role in cosmic destruction, how everything eventually merges back into him, leaving only you alone remain with your transcendental name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia. Deep stuff.
But then that very human motherly fear comes back, right?
It does. Despite knowing who he is, she pleads with him to become invisible to our material eyes, to assume the form of an ordinary child, so Kamsa won't find and kill him.
It's quite touching, actually.
It is. She even says, "I am surprised that you imitate the activities of ordinary human beings just to please your devotee." It really brings up that question. How does this immense divine purpose interact with such relatable human emotions like fear and love?
Yeah, that intersection is fascinating.
And he shows the Lord's compassion, doesn't it? Even in his full divinity, he's considering his devotees' feelings. He actually explains why he appeared in that four-armed Vishnu form.
Why?
He says it was just to convince you that I am the same supreme personality of Godhead again taken birth. He knew that otherwise, after everything they'd been through, they would not have believed.
To remove any doubt. And then comes the big reveal about their past lives.
Yes. This is amazing. He tells them this isn't the first time they've been his parents. Yeah. First, ages ago, they were Prishni and Sutapa. They performed intense austerities for like 12,000 demigod years, specifically asking for him as their son. And he was born to them as Krishnagarbha
Okay.
once. Then a second time they were Aditi and Kashyapa. And he was born as Upendra, who's also known as Vamanadeva, that dwarf incarnation.
This is the third time.
This is the third time as Krishna. And he explicitly says he showed them the Vishnu form to connect the dots to prove his identity across these births. He tells them how pleased he is, how obligated he feels for them raising him many times.
Yeah, and he gives them a promise.
A huge promise. He assures them, this time you shall go back home, back to Godhead on account of your perfection and your mission. Their devotion has culminated.
So what are we supposed to take from that? This idea of a repeating connection across millennia between the divine and these specific souls. What's that tell us about devotion or destiny?
Well, it suggests these divine connections aren't just random. They span lifetimes, fulfilling some kind of profound, maybe preordained purpose. It really highlights pure devotion as this powerful force that doesn't just shape one life, but shapes cosmic events too, ultimately leading to liberation through that relationship.
An enduring bond. Okay, so after this massive revelation, Krishna gives an order.
Right. He tells Vasudeva, take me immediately to Gokula, exchange me for Yashoda's newborn daughter.
And then just changes.
Just like that. Having spoken, the Lord turned himself into an ordinary child. Poof. Divine form gone, infant form appears.
Showing that power again. And then the escape starts, which is a whole other sequence of miracles.
Orchestrated, the text says, by Yogamaya, the Lord's internal spiritual energy. It's not like stage magic. It's described as Yogamaya subtly influencing things, arranging circumstances.
How so?
Well, first, everyone in Kamsa's palace, especially the guards, just falls into this incredibly deep sleep. Overwhelmed with deep sleep, it says.
Convenient.
Very. And then all the palace doors, even though they were barred, shackled with iron chains, they just opened. Automatically.
Wow. And it was dark, right? Middle of the night.
Pitch dark. But as Vasudeva carries baby Krishna, he can suddenly see everything just as in the sunlight. The text explains, wherever there is Krishna, the illusory energy, which is compared to darkness, cannot remain.
Yeah.
His presence itself is illumination.
Okay, so guards asleep, doors open, path lit. What else?
Divine protection. There's a severe rainfall, but Lord Saya, this powerful divine serpent being, spreads his hoods over Vasudeva's head like an umbrella.
The serpent umbrella.
And then they reach the Yamuna River. It's roaring, full of waves and foam. It looks impossible to cross.
Right.
But the river gave passage to Vasudeva to cross, just parted for him. The text explicitly compares it to the Indian Ocean giving way for Lord Rama ages before. The elements themselves cooperate.
Incredible. So he gets across, finds Yashoda's house in Gokula.
Yep. Everyone there is asleep too. He quietly goes in, exchanged his son for the baby girl, turns around, goes back across the river.
Back to prison.
Right back into the prison cell.
Yeah.
And clamp the shackles on himself as if nothing ever happened. Just erases the whole impossible journey.
And Yashoda, did she know what happened?
Nope. Mother Yashoda was so tired from childbirth she fell fast asleep. When she woke up, she could not remember whether she had given birth to a male or a female child, completely unaware of the divine switch.
Goodness. That's not just a prison break, is it? It's like, yeah, a cosmic ballet, perfectly timed. So many impossible things had to happen just right.
Exactly. It really makes you consider how divine will in this narrative can just orchestrate the seemingly impossible, making countless unlikely events fall perfectly into place.
So wrapping up this part of the deep dive, we've really seen how unique and profound Krishna's birth is presented in these texts. It's not just physical. It's called transcendental, surrounded by cosmic signs, divine revelations, incredible escapes.
It truly sets the stage for everything that follows in his life story. It does. And it leaves it with a thought, doesn't it? When you consider a narrative like this one, a divine being choosing to manifest physically, orchestrating cosmic and personal events with such intricate detail, overcoming impossible odds, what does that make you consider about the nature of divine purpose itself, about fate, and about the deep, enduring connection between the spiritual world and our material one?